Hey guys, how's it going? This is HelpfulLockPicker here. In today's video, we're going to be going over why having Do Not Duplicate stamped on your key is not a really legally binding thing, and it does not really add too much key control. And if you happen to have a Schlage system, one thing that you can do is you can drop that key and add an appropriate Schlage Primus key into your system just to add a little bit more key control. I'm going to be going over exactly how this works and give you some more information on these very interesting keys. More information is coming up on this in just a second. Please stay tuned. Alright, so why does Do Not Duplicate not hold too much weight when it comes to key control? Well, the first thing, Do Not Duplicate is something that is not legally binding, and a locksmith can just ignore it and duplicate your key. On top of it just being ignored, you can easily cover it up. And then on top of that, if you take one of these keys and you insert it into one of the automated machines, it's just going to make a new key for you because it's never going to actually read the bow. The SC4 key is such a popular blank, including the SC1. These are so common that most machines are going to carry it, almost all machines I would bet, any chain store, any locksmith, so you're going to be able to get this key duplicated so easily. But what if you could just drop this blank and get one that is not going to be easily stocked and easily found? That could certainly add to your key control. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to propose to you that we add a key to our system which is going to be less easily obtained, and that's going to be the Schlage CP. So let's get some more information on that right now. Alright, so if we'd like to add a little bit more key control to our key system, we're going to need to find a key that's going to work in our system but is less easily found. So what I'm going to do is take a look at the classic Primus Level 1 sectional keyways, and then we're going to see some really cool things. So the Level 1 sectional keyway of the classic Primus is going to be CP, CEP, EP, EFP, FP, and FGP. However, if you take the P off the end, you're going to see which section from the original Schlage it's going to be backwards compatible with. So I have the CP right here, so this is going to fit the Schlage C keyway. So when we take a look at the original lock that we're going to be working with, it's going to be a Schlage SC4. We're going to see that my Do Not Duplicate key is going to work very well because this is going to be an SC4 key. It's going to be cut to this lock and it's going to open it up very well. However, the Primus CP keyway is going to be backwards compatible, so we're going to be able to open up our lock very well as well. What the Primus key has done is it's going to be just a little bit thinner, and the keyway of the CP keyway is going to be a little bit thinner. So this key is going to fit into the original Schlage, but the original Schlage is going to be too thick to fit into the CP keyway. And even if you were able to thin it down, you wouldn't have the sidebar cuts and you wouldn't be able to get it open. So essentially what I am sharing with you today is going to be, if you could make your keys into a Primus key, the end user is likely not going to know that it's not high security. It's going to be something that you're not going to be able to take down to the hardware store. If you bring this key in and you try to get it duplicated, they're going to say, "What is that? I have no idea." If you put this in an automated machine, it's not going to know what to do. And it's just going to add a little bit of added security to your system. It just adds a little bit of a cloak so people aren't going to really know what keys you're using. And if you needed to give someone a guest key or something, that is going to be a viable option as well. But right now what I'd like to do is just go over some considerations if you would like to do this, because this is not a perfect option for many reasons. Alright, so let's go over just a few considerations if you're looking to add this to your key system to add a little bit of key control. So obviously the Primus key is going to work very well in the cylinder that it was designed for. And it's going to work very well in the cylinder that it's designed to be backwards compatible to. So this is going to be a key that's going to work very well for you, and it's not going to cause you any problems operating your system. However, this is really just putting a cloak over the key, and it's going to make it so that it's just less obvious what you're doing. When you take a look at these keys, you're going to see that they are definitely very different looking, and this one looks like a more serious key. However, when you take a look at the front of the cylinders, you're going to see that the cylinder you're using is not going to be marked Primus, so it's not going to be marked as a high security cylinder. And if someone's knowledgeable enough, they're going to be able to look in there and see that you do not have the finger pins. However, the point of this is just to make it less obvious and a little bit more difficult for people to duplicate your key. This is a really good idea if you say want to give someone a guest key and you just want to kind of confirm that they're not going to take it to a kiosk or one of the local stores to get it duplicated. So the Schlage Primus Classic keyway is a keyway that had its patent expire in 2007, and it got replaced by the XP, which expires in 2024. One thing that they did on the XP is they added the number 7 finger pin to make it a little bit more difficult. But when this key was first designed, it was designed to be sold as a level 1 blank only to locksmiths. If you wanted to get a more serious blank, you'd need to get a written document sharing that you're only going to sell these and that you're authorized and all of that stuff. But since this key has fallen out of patent, it's actually pretty easy to get if you know where to look. You can find these on eBay, you can find them on a lot of the key websites, and you do not really need to verify much to buy them. However, one really good thing that this is going to do for you is it's going to make it very, very unlikely that you're going to take this key here and insert it into a kiosk or take it to your local locksmith to get it duplicated. Because even if you take it to a local locksmith, they should still be asking you for your code card to be able to get it duplicated, which looks like something like this. But I just want to say that this was a pretty cool thing that you can do if you want to just try to add a little bit of key control to your system. One thing to consider is that these blanks are a lot more expensive and you're not going to be able to get them cut everywhere. You may have to hand file yours, you may have to find a locksmith that's willing to do it, so just to get started with the system is going to add an added barrier. But if you are able to get one of these keys cut, you can usually get them cut online like eBay, or you can just maybe find someone. This is going to be a pretty cool idea. But I do look forward to hearing everyone's thoughts on this. Obviously, this is not going to be a perfect system. It's going to have some flaws and definitely some barriers to get started. If you're going to do this, you're going to need to make it blatantly obvious to all of the people involved that this is not the key you need and this is the key that you need if you want to really try to put that veil over it. But this is all I have for you today. This is just a really cool observation that the fact that the Primus keys are backwards compatible depending on which one you are working with. And I think that is a pretty cool finding. But either way, guys, if you have any questions or suggestions, as always, please feel free to drop those right in the comment section below. And I'd really love to hear it. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, please consider subscribing. Every subscription makes such a big difference. I just want to say thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.